Hi, welcome to our town. I'm Dennis Weiss. I'm excited to be at the Eisenhower Presidential Library Museum Boyhood Home.
Good morning.
Good morning with Executive Director Don Hammett, and she welcomed me. Good morning. Your new Why I Like Ike
I was hoping you would know this.
Cool.
So my beloved bought this for me off of eBay, I guess, and the seller said that it was used during the campaign in Louisiana, of course.
No kidding.
So I'm very pleased to wear it.
Louisiana, why would they use that in Louisiana?
Because half of us speak French.
Okay. Yeah, historical note for you there. You're in your social studies class today,
right.
Civics and all that. So, you know, you guys are good about springing things on me because I never know what we're going to see here. So as I walk in and I look at this, I go, we have an umbrella very clearly in the middle of the table. I think, where does the poison tip come out?
I can't tell you.
Can't tell me.
It's a secret.
What are we talking about today?
All right. Well, we have a little bit of everything, I guess. We have last time you were here, we talked about doing research in our research room, and so I pulled two books that the authors worked here at our research room to get information to write these two books.
Very cool.
And they're available at our shop. So I just thought it was,
You're proving our point.
I am proving our point.
That not only people come here to research, but they produce scholastic material here and they put it in the hands of the public.
And then I pulled two other books because we talked about them last time. These are graphic novels about, this is the Battle of the Bulge and this one's Normandy. And these are really good for people who have a more of a visual way of learning. So these are great, and frankly, I think I need to buy one for my nephew, but I'm really excited about the graphic novels.
So I have a research task for you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, just you can mental jot. I'm not going to ask you hard questions. So the commander on the Sicily landing, and when we went around to the name of the town, just flew out of my head. My son's not going to be happy with me. His name is Lucas. He was the task force that went around. He was intended to insert his troops, come in a pinch or move, cut the Germans off from their movement back up through Italy, and he sat still for 9 days. So I saw this a couple of days ago, and I thought, that's a topic I need to look into. So once I remember the town, it'll come blurting out.
Well,
in the
I'm
middle of the
interested because
interview.
my family's Sicilian, so that would be interesting to me.
Okay.
Or a little part of my family is Sicilian.
Looky there, we have a topic. We can do that.
All right.
All right. So research produces books. Books produce value in people who read them, and people can come here to the gift shop and get any of those.
Yeah, we try to have the most pertinent volumes here in our shop. Make it easy for our guests to pick them up.
Super duper.
So it's also Women's History Month. So we wanted to pull.
Oh.
Did you know?
Does that explain the umbrella?
I hope so.
Okay.
Okay, so I need to put my gloves on though.
Okay, the blue gloves. You get the blue ones, your favorite nitrile gloves.
My nitrile gloves. Yes. I prefer the nitrile gloves. I feel like I can feel what I'm touching better than with the cotton gloves.
So does my veterinarian, by the way. Don't know for the same reason, but I'm just saying.
It might be for the same reason, I don't know.
It's going to be longer though.
Let's
yes, okay.
Let's talk about the objects, the museum objects.
Yes.
So we just got a recent acquisition. I'm going to reach.
Okay.
Can you reach the other set?
I can. It looks like a little apron.
That is a little boy's outfit.
Little boy's outfit.
And here's the little girl's outfit.
On the beach outfit.
And clearly, all of the ladies out there can tell that the little boy got a little dirtier than the little girl, and this one got bleached more.
Yes, went through the washer a time or two more. That's because the mud puddles on the way to the beach are very hard to resist.
I mean, I can't resist them either. But these came in right at the end of the year from a family in Michigan. And they said that the mom purchased this fabric and was very excited. Here, you're very interested in the letter. So this was popular during the campaign, and the mom had to have the fabric and made those for the kids.
1952. Wow.
Isn't that sweet?
It is cool. The historical movie that my son and I were watching a couple of days ago, there were two little kids, and they were, I don't know what kind of camera they were filmed on, the old days, but the reality of it is that outfit style was what they were wearing at the beach. And so they were doing this because their daddy was deployed and they were exchanging
how nice.
pictures.
These, I remember wearing, my grandma made a lot of our clothes for me and my cousins and my sister, and I remember wearing very similar outfits to this.
You could just dash down to the beach and into the water and away you went.
We didn't have beaches.
From where you were? They didn't take you to the ocean because they were...
I'm trying to think. We went to lakes and rivers.
Okay.
What did you do?
We didn't go anywhere. We lived in Colorado, and we went to the river once in a while, but there was just a river, and it only had water in it, you know, a certain time of the year. So we'd go jump off a rock once in a while.
We had lots of water, but it was all brown, and you can't see through it.
Yeah. Clear, cold water where I grew up.
Don't know what that
Okay.
is. So
we're going to look at this. What you're saying is an artifact from Women's History Month.
Right. So this would
I'm
be a
wondering
lovely little
maybe-
parasol. I refuse to open it all the way because I don't want to stretch the fabric.
Yes, I would agree.
So clearly this was very important to the ladies.
Yes.
This is how this particular woman participated in the campaign. And I just think it's very sweet. Can you imagine walking down the street holding your parasol?
You know, it was a fine time for
Yes.
both our society. You know, Eisenhower 8 years of peace and prosperity. Well, the prosperity was us. It was the suburbia. It was the
Exactly.
wealth moving out into the middle class, the huge growth of the middle class. That's the Eisenhower years.
Exactly. So I can
yes,
see her walking down the street with her
absolutely.
gloves and her hat.
Absolutely. Gloves. Those are not
She
artifacts.
wasn't wearing these.
It wasn't wearing blue ones.
No.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this hat is very sweet. It is. It has the
Yeah.
little button, but on the inside it says Eisenhower official campaign hat.
I've seen photographs of, you know, where they're waving or driving in a motorcade. I've seen those hats in photos.
Well, the ladies were
There
very
it is.
enamored by them.
Yes.
I think we should bring back hats.
I'm okay with that. I've got a hat. Not like that,
No, not like this one.
but I've got one.
So this is really sweet. It's. I asked immediately if this was Mamie's hat, but the answer is no. This is not Mamie's hat. This is just a campaign hat
Yep.
of some lady. And then another campaign piece is our Mamie pink comb.
No kidding.
Mamie Eisenhower name on the comb.
That's pretty cool. You suppose that was just something that was for sale for fundraising
Or a
back
giveaway,
to the campaign
sure.
or throw out at
Sure.
the parades and things? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Isn't that lovely?
Yes, it is.
All right. So this one is super sweet too. This is an I Like Ike corsage. But what we like about it is it has, over here it has for his lapel.
I
Do you see that?
for his lapel.
You have gloves on. You can
Yes,
touch.
I do.
see you
So,
being cautious.
What's the construction of the flowers? I can see through them, so it's not silk, is it?
It is fabric, but
Yeah.
it looks probably more polyester than silk.
Okay, that's what it looks like to me as well. Remarkably well preserved. So here's, you said 3 times, isn't that lovely? Here's what's lovely to me, that you have them, that we can see them in display if William puts them in the museum and creates a Women's History Month, you know, in a couple of years from now. If he decides to do that, these things are here for everybody to see,
Absolutely.
not just us and me and you and the people on TV.
Well, and the thing that's important to me is the 2 children's outfits. Those just came in. We're still accepting objects. We're still accepting
Now
donations.
that's cool, isn't it? Yeah.
And what we're finding right now is that people are, as we're moving and downsizing and things like that, you find stuff in the attic and
Right.
give us a buzz. We're interested.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
All right, so this one's the piece de resistance. I don't know what you're going to do on this one. Are you ready?
Okay, I'll try to sit still until I can't.
Let's hope. Let's hope for the best. So Mamie, as you know, or rather Ike mentioned that Mamie was a better campaigner than he.
Yes,
You remember
read
that?
that,
Okay.
yes.
This was a gift. This was a birthday gift to Mamie from the press corps. This was her first birthday directly after the election. So she was first lady elect.
Okay, so you have to explain it.
The,
Dave
well,
will get a close shot
the
after.
press corps gave this to her. It's a necklace and a bracelet and a set of earrings. The earrings look like little grapes, little sets of grapes.
They do.
And it came with the birthday greeting from Western Union.
Oh, wow.
You want to read it?
Yes. Augusta, Georgia, November 14th, 1952. Mrs. Dwight D. Eisenhower. May we take this opportunity to wish you a very happy birthday, the Eisenhower Press, Radio, and Photographers.
So this was just a little moment for us to be able to talk about Mamie and how important she was during the campaign, and so much so that she was recognized by the press corps.
So I think we did this on a Why Like Ike, this little sentence, that there was and is research behind the scenes at the time that Mamie pulled probably as many votes as Dwight David Eisenhower did, but he was running for office. So pulling that number of votes to Mr. Eisenhower, that was a big job.
Well, I think, you know, the thing that's interesting to me, or the thing that I keep thinking about, is that to me, Mamie had her own educational background, the things that she brought to the relationship, and so did he. And those two things together made them become this amazing family, this amazing couple.
So that's a common thing, right? In people.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But it's an uncommon thing that one of them's president, and that they grew up here, that he grew up here in Abilene, Kansas, and we can sit here in Abilene, Kansas as a presidential library and talk about it.
Absolutely.
So, you know, how do you push that back out to through the lens to the people of value? Well, you know, leadership is partly action and partly the chance to observe and see the example. Well, that's a great example. Your whole discussion about Mamie is a great example of two people being more powerful together for the benefit of good than they were separately.
Yeah, I think that his experiences coupled with her experiences really made them exactly the right set of people for what we needed at that time.
Very cool.
I don't think it could have been any other group of people.
I would agree. I've said many times I think Eisenhower is a great decision maker, but I think he also was able to make decisions that I don't believe anybody else would have made. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't make them today.
No.
So that it was unique that he could manage that and in such a calm manner.
Well, and I told you that I'm reading his papers or his articles from post-presidency.
Okay.
And I am overwhelmed by his sense of patriotism and his absolute love for the United States. He was absolutely a patriot.
We should do something with that in the camera one of these days, in one of our Why Like Ike series. We'll figure that out.
All
But
right.
that'd be a great one. That would
Yeah.
be great. And a message we need to hear.
Sure. So, I didn't bring enough stuff apparently.
No, we brought plenty of stuff. You haven't even got to the other little pile over there. I don't know what that
Well,
is.
those go with the children's clothes, and I can't touch them. I
documentation
took my
for-
gloves off.
All right. So we have plenty of stuff because it all came from Dwight David Eisenhower's place, and we're in it. So here's the deal. We've said over and over and over, no matter what you like, you can find a reason to come be interested at the museum. You have a major reinvention going on in
Yes.
the museum this year. This is growth, this is possibilities. We simply use this camera and this little show to give people some insight into different areas of things that are here and try to give them a reason to be interested in it. I think we do pretty good at that.
I hope so. Well, we have a lot of things coming up. We have a lot of programs. You want to talk about that now?
I'd love to hear what's coming
Okay,
up.
I have my list, so I don't give you the
Lists
wrong
are
date
good.
or the wrong time or anything
Wouldn't
like
want to
that.
make a mistake.
So we are currently in the middle of the Royer Film Festival.
Always good.
Always good. And on March 16th, we'll be playing A Hatful of Rain at 7 p.m. And we talked about how I've never seen Hatful of Rain.
I don't
have
think,
you?
no.
I'm interested in that one. It's a Korean time period movie.
Oh,
I
yes,
believe the
yes,
gentleman
yes.
comes home from Korea
Yes.
and he's integrating back into civilian life, if I remember the synopsis appropriately.
Yeah, have one of those in my family.
Yeah, a Korean vet? Mm-hmm. Your dad?
No, Elizabeth's father and her uncle.
And how did they?
Somewhat successfully, somewhat not, just like everybody coming back from war.
Yeah.
It's a life-changing event.
My dad was in this weird window where he was too young for Korea and too old for Vietnam. Nobody understand. I mean, there was like 6 of those people.
Yeah.
It's a small group of people who missed both of them.
Yeah. So you talk about Korea, and we could pick a topic, and I don't want to dominate your time here, but whatever topic we pick, there is something to say, see, and if you're really special like me and have a pair of white gloves, occasionally get to touch.
I'm going to pay for that.
So my son, he had a buddy over, and I was going through some photos trying to clean up the hard drive, you know, and I go, oh. I said, son, would you like to see the close-up of the M2 carbine that I had on the table the other day? And he goes, well, not really. He says, yes, I want to look at it, but it just aggravates me that you get to be right there and to have it in your hands. And I said, well.
That's the great thing about being a museum person, frankly.
It is really cool.
So our March Lunch and Learn is on the 22nd, and the title of that one is B-29 Doc Through the Eyes of Rosie the Riveter. So there is a lady who lives in Wichita who worked on this B-29. Yeah, and so she's going to come and talk about her work during the war.
So I had a great aunt that worked on planes as well. She's long since passed away, but an amazing part of our American history. You know, it's if you would have seen my mom work on a farm, you wouldn't have thought much about it, right? But the reality of it is when our society changed. So you went from 10% participation of women in the workforce to over 50 during World War II, and then we settled back like this, and we're still doing this to this day. But the productive capacity of America's growth came from Rosie the Riveter story.
My grandmother was a welder for Higgins.
Really?
Yeah.
Very cool. Lots of stories like that.
Yep.
Wish we could collect them in person.
Well, we're trying. It's hard, but we're trying. So we have the egg roll is March 31st, which I got to...
Another long time event here.
And that's with the Parks and Rec, Abilene Parks and Rec.
Right.
And I was visiting Abilene last year for the egg roll, and I had a ball. I can't wait to do it again.
Did you run ahead of the little kids and get all the colored eggs done?
No, I was afraid that I would knock them down and hurt them.
That's good.
So I didn't do that. We have the Kansas Geographic Bee on April 6th, which I have not participated in. But I understand you can come and watch.
I have. I have not participated in it, but I've always followed it. It's been here a number of years. It's hugely important. So that's the way you build interest in things, is to build some competition around them. It's been a big thing for the Eisenhower.
Well, I've heard it's also extremely impressive that these young people know so much about our world.
Right.
And then in April's the Holocaust Remembrance Month.
Okay.
So we have several things going on. The Arts Council of Dickinson County is going to have a Holocaust film series here. So we're showing The Zookeeper's Wife on the 10th, and we are showing Schindler's List on the 22nd.
Wow, okay.
And that's in partnership with
very good
Arts
films.
Council. And then our National Archives and Records Administration is in the middle of a nationwide Vietnam remembrance.
Right.
Didn't we talk about this?
We did.
That the Archivist of the United States is a Vietnam vet?
Right.
So our Vietnam Symposium will be on the 14th. So stay tuned for details on that. We're getting speakers lined up and events lined up for that.
And maybe we're going to try to capture some with the camera while they're here if we can.
That'd be great.
Yep.
That'd be great. And then in April, to continue our Holocaust Month, Remembrance Month, the Lunch and Learn is about the United States and the Holocaust with Mike Russell from Kansas Wesleyan.
Okay.
So he's going to be talking about what did the United States know? When did they know? What did they know? How did they I don't know, make decisions about what needed to be done?
That's a hard question.
Right?
And the answers are hard too. I've always thought of it this way. You let your mind go through listening and processing, and I've always came back to what Eisenhower wrote. And when he went to the camps to look himself, He said he wanted to see, so he was be able to say that I saw, to testify. It's to answer that question. What did we know? Well, what we really knew was when the first American set foot on the ground and looked at it and could report back with authority. Until you do that, it's just what you think you know.
Right. Well, and I think that museums, I firmly believe that museums are safe places to have difficult conversations.
I agree.
And so we're supposed to talk about stuff like this
Exactly.
in museums. This is where we get to share ideas in a safe place.
Yeah, very cool.
And then finally, what I want to make sure we talk about is the Mother's Day tea, which is on May 12th.
Mother's Day tea. Now that should be of interest to our community.
Right, and I didn't see that last year either. I wasn't around yet. But we have Andrew Oak, who is going to talk on our First Ladies.
Oh, okay.
So he's a First Ladies expert.
In the courtyard room?
In the courtyard, and it's a ticketed event, so you need to get
Super.
tickets.
Okay. Remind to the communication director, I'd love to put a scroll ad on for you about that. So on Channel 2. We've used all of our time, and you didn't think we had enough stuff.
I never do. I never do.
Well, it's gone. Our gloves were useful. We touched some things. We learned a little bit about Women's History Month. We learned a little bit, again, about things that are of interest to you and I as they come up. Another great time at the Eisenhower Presidential Library. It's always fun.
We love when you're here.
I do too. Makes me happy to sit right here. I thought about switching it up and changing chairs, and I thought,
but then my pen would be on the wrong side.
That wouldn't work. Can't have that. Dawn, thanks for welcoming us in.
Thanks for being here.
I'm Dennis Weiss. I work for Eagle Communications. This is Don Hammett, the Executive Director of the Eisenhower Presidential Library, Museum, and Boyhood Home. We both wish you a great day.